The modern day Australian team is a very strong team, as they were the ones who bowled out India on 36 in the Adelaide Test. They won the T20 World Cup in 2021 and the 2015 Cricket World Cup by defeating New Zealand in the final. They obliterated New Zealand, Pakistan, and others in the home tests. But if I ask a core Australian fan which is the most dominating Australian team ever, they would definitely say the Australian side from the 1999 to 2011 era. The modern the modern Australian team is nowhere near to the level of the peak team of Australia. The peak team of Australia is the most dominating team in cricket history. They are even more dominating than most of the team in their prime. Why was this Australian team so dominating? Well, my name is Aryavrat Pandey and welcome to the channel. Today, let's try to decode the reason why was the peak Australian team so dangerous, so destructive. Without further ado, let's start. Number 1. Stacked star power in the team. Well, during that era of 1999 to 2011, Australia had some really big giga stars, or I should say giga chads. Just joking. The team had some of the biggest, some of the most destructive, and some of the most dominant players in the cricketing history. Few of them were Adam Gilchrist, Ricky Ponting, Damien Martin, Andrew Simons, Brett Lee, Glenn McGrath, and many more. Those players were destructive. They were good. They were amazing. They destroyed the opponents and performed whenever the team needed them. They had an important role in Australia's dominance during the peak era, or I should say, the golden era of Australian cricket. Number 3. Amazing coaching. John Bucknan and Tim Nelson were the coaches of Australia during the golden era of Australian cricket. John Bucknan served as the coach of Australia for the majority time from 1999 to 2007, which turned out to be the most successful team for any coach. As under as under him, Australia won the 2007-2003 Cricket World Cup, also secured a 16 Test match winning streak, 23 ODI wins in World Cups, retained the Ashes in 2002-2003, won the 2006-2007 Ashes, but they failed to retain the 2005 Ashes. Well, they also won 2006 Champions Trophy under John Bucknan. The other coach for Australia was Tim Nelson. He coached Australia from 2007 to 2011. He held the team tightly, and under him, Australia was a really strong team in T20s and ODIs. Australia won the 2009 Champions Trophy, reached the final of 2010 T20 World Cup, and also lasted till the semi-final in 2011 Cricket World Cup as well as the 2007 T20 World Cup. Well, this was the time when many players or the OG players started losing their form and retired. But Tim Nelson and John Bucknan will go down in the history as the most finest and the most destructive coaches in the cricket history, managing or coaching the golden team of cricket. Number 3, great leadership. When you have the best coaches in the world, when you have the best cricketing lineup in the world, what's the next thing you need? Well, that is great leadership. Australia's full time captains Steve Waugh, Ricky Ponting, and the part time captains Adam Gilchrist and Shane Warne were just the prime example of great leadership, because under them, Australia was just dominant, just pure dominant. Their leadership was fine. Their leadership was impressive as they backed the team after a loss. They supported and held up the players in their bad face and made the team strong by every means by giving 100% of what they have and making team motivated. This shows the amount of leadership Australian cricketers had back then, as they had the very best captains in the Australian cricket history or in the world history. Australian statistics during the peak time were just amazing. Australians were just dominating cricket during that time. Australians had a win percentage of 75%, which was more than any team that time. They were winning series and matches. They were doing amazing job in overseas series. They were doing amazing job in home series. They were the quarter finalist during the 2000 Champions League trophy, semi finalist in 2002, 2004 Champions Trophy, 2007 T20 World Cup. They were the semi finalist, lost to India. They were the finalist during the 2010 T20 World Cup and were the winners of 1999, 2003, 2007 Cricket World Cup and the 2006-2009 Champions Trophy. They were the part of the highest scoring ODI match at that time, which was against South Africa, and a 16 match test winning streak, which was just top level cricket at that time. They have many more statistics giving the cricket the best spinner in the world, which was Shane Warne, and some of the fastest bowlers in the cricket being Glenn McGrath and Brett Lee. Australians were a dominating force during the golden age from 1999 to 2011 because of their strong stacked squad which performed when they were needed, their coaching and mentorship. Their coaches like Tim Nelson and John Bucknan were the most hardworking coaches ever. They created a beast of a team. This team should be called the dream team of cricket. But this well stacked playing 11 and the good mentorship was empty without the great leadership of the full time captains Steve Waugh and Ricky Ponting, as well as their part time captains Shane Warne and Adam Gilchrist. This team would be the most dominating team in the cricket ever, and it's a very slim chance that any team could match the amount of dominance this team did during the golden era of cricket.